Previously on Feats of Strength, Georgian Konstantin Janashia and Estonian Rauno Heinla went head-to-head in an attempt to set the record for the 400-kilo deadlift for repetitions. Rauno got 6 reps, setting a new world record. Stay tuned to watch Trey Mitchell from Lumberton, Texas, attempt to snatch the record from Rauno.
And welcome back to World's Ultimate Strongman Feats of Strength, Episode 2. We have our wildcard athlete, Trey Mitchell, all the way over in Texas. I'm Mark Boyd with our co-host, Lauren Shalley. How's it going, Big Loz?
I'm good, thanks, Mark. I'm excited to be back. Obviously, we've got another 400-kilo deadlift for reps, this time with our wildcard, the World Ultimate Strongman, giving a new guy an opportunity to shine. Trey has been really doing well over the international scene over the last couple of years. I met him back in 2018, where I actually won the North American Championships. Trey came second in that contest, and the progress that we've seen from him over the last couple of years has been outstanding.
No, it's definitely good to get a budding athlete, as we say over in World's Ultimate Strongman. Get him up on the platform, get eyes on him, and see how he performs amongst the best on the circuit.
Well, it's going to be, like I said, 2 years ago, this guy wasn't even close to pulling 400 kilos. He was a good, big, strong lad. He's a very good stone lifter, but his performance on the deadlift was average. There was guys like myself, Mark Felix, Rob Kearney, all beating him on the deadlift. Now, these last couple of years, he's really brought that lift up. We've seen what he's done in training. We can see him there loading the plates on his own. That's going to be. He's not got a big crew like we've seen with some of the other guys. We know with the Stoltmans, they've got each other in their team. We've seen the girls helping each other out, and everyone seems to have people around them to look after them. I mean, when you were doing the 400, you had a whole team around you to keep you focused. And as a lifter, you don't really want to be worrying about loading and stuff like that. Trey's used to it. He's out. He trains on his own all the time. It's just going to depend on how the time frame between each jump affects him. And loading 400 kilos can take a bit out of you, but I'm sure he'll be, he'll stay hydrated. He'll rest when he can, and then it's going to be a big ask to break the record. But I think we can see a good performance from him.
Yeah, it's definitely a raw setup there. You can see it's just him and the cameraman, and he's going to be good to go, hopefully very soon. Do you think it's going to affect his warm up at all, or how he warms up?
Oh, I think he'll be used to this. If he's used to training on his own all the time, shouldn't be too much of an issue. But like we said, it's nice to just have that team around you to give you that support, that little bit of encouragement when it's time to go for those big numbers. So time will tell. But Trey's a very strong man, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he can do.
Time will tell. And now we're going to shoot over to the journey piece of Trey.
Texas, a U.S. state that doesn't do anything on a small scale, and is second only to Alaska in sheer size and California in population. If Texas were its own country, it would be the world's 10th largest economy, with a GDP greater than Canada, Russia, or Spain. Modern high-tech Texas is built on a foundation of old-fashioned hard work, big ranches, big oil, and big heavy weights. The sweltering heat of Texas forges a special kind of athlete, Trey Mitchell.
Hi, I'm Trey Mitchell. I'm 27 years old from Lumberton, Texas, United States. I started competing in Strongman when I was 18 years old in 2012. At the Houston Metroflex Gym was my first competition. I came in first place in the teen division. I was a fan of the sport when I was younger. See it on TV, just like that's pretty awesome, get in my head. And, turned 18, I found out that pretty much anybody could sign up for it and get into the sport if they wanted to. So I found a local competition and signed up for it. And since I won my first competition in teen division, I kind of thought in my head, well, maybe, I can reach the top. I can go to World's Strongest Man one day if I train for it. My first international competition was 2018 Arnold Australia competition, and came in 5th in that, my very first pro competition. Competing against people that were doing it for years, that's been going to World's Strongest Man for a number of years and other pro shows heavy. It was kind of, affirmation that I could compete with the big boys. As long as you stay focused and dedicated to what your goals are, you'll eventually make it. I got first place at the 2018 America's Strongest Man. I got first place at the 2017 Official Strongman Games Open Division. Today I'll be attempting to do the world record deadlift for reps at 400 kilos. That's 881 pounds. I'm confident that I could hit 6 or 7 reps in one go. My goal is to win World's Strongest Man and win a Arnold Strongman Classic. And see how long I can keep that up. Always strive to try and be a better competitor every competition I do. So I always knew one day I would reach the World's Strongest Man, just how long it would take me. My ultimate goal is to be the World's Strongest Man.
What a fantastic journey piece there. You heard it from the man himself. It's a case of when he becomes World's Strongest Man, not if he becomes World's Strongest Man.
Exactly. Just watching that, I just love the belief he has in himself. He's a big, strong country boy, and this kid believes he can be the absolute best in the world. That's the attitude that you need to take yourself right to the top.
Oh, for sure. And I think he's quietly confident. I think there's still more of a personality to be seen from Trey, which I look forward to seeing in the upcoming events and competitions.
Definitely. We want to see him sort of release a bit of that personality. I've seen him back. He's a great kid, but just maybe a little bit tight still in front of the camera. He's still quite new to all these, being in the limelight. He just likes to kind of hide in the gym, train hard, and then when it's time to compete, he wants to unleash and show everyone what he's capable of. And that's what he's got the opportunity to do. Show us all what he's capable of.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. He said 6 or 7 repetitions, which would match and beat Rauno Heinla, who has the world record at the minute from the last episode. What do we think, Loz?
Well, firstly, I'm just distracted by how rusty his weights are. Did he get these off, Sandow or someone like that? These are looking all roughly weights, but weight is weight. He's training hard, hardcore, old school training. I love it. As for the record, I got to say, I think 7 is a big ask. I really do. I think he's made good progress in his deadlift over the last few years. Yes, I saw what he did recently in training. In competition, I still haven't seen him match the likes of Rauno or an Adam Bishop or kind of, Constantine in competition. So it's been a long off season for these guys, as we know. He could, these up and coming guys, they make a lot of progress, but I think we'll see a good performance. But I think Rauno's record's going to be safe this week. I really do.
Yeah, we'll soon find out. But as you can see, Trey is setting up all of his own equipment. He's going to be weighing all the equipment himself as well. So that's definitely going to take its toll on his lift. But raw as it comes, Trey is going to be loading and picking up this 400 kilos for as many reps as he can.
Look at this for a setup. It looks like it's just his shed, and he's got all the stuff in the background.
It's his warehouse in his garden.
And we've seen the fancy kind of layouts some of the other guys have. This is hardcore Rocky Balboa style training. It's going to be a good performance, and I hope he does well. I really do. But he's up against some stiff competition. We've seen how impressive the likes of Rauno, the likes of JF Caron, Adam Bishop, Pritchett, huge deadlifters that have backed up time and time in competition. Our Wildcard is trying to put himself in that elite level.
He's been looking good in training. I think he's hit 410 kilos for a double.
Yeah, he hit 915 or something like that pounds.
915
pounds. 410,
yeah.
415 kilos. Incredible numbers. But again, like I said, today is performance time. It's doing it when it counts. We've already seen how confident he is. I love the fact he said 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I've seen that a lot of times before, though. It's how he's going to perform on the day.
Well, we'll soon find out. Here he is, just finishing up his warm-up lifts. A few more warm-up lifts, and then we will get to that 400 kilo deadlift.
Good softness there as well.
Escape to the most tropical island with the most tropical flavor. Not that kind of flavor. That kind. Then add a floral punch of lychee, slammed into a tangy burst of lilac-oil. Give it 0 sugar, but still make it taste good. Paradise good. Then pack it with power, so you can outdo you. That's what goes into New Rain Lilac-oil Lychee. A total body fuel.
At Castle Water, we have a clear vision to create an independent water retailer providing an excellent water service to all our customers at the best possible price. We're now the second largest water retailer in the UK, servicing more than 350,000 customers. Visit castlewater.co.uk to find out more, get an instant quote, and switch to the UK's leading independent water retailer.
Animal is a state of being. It's right where discipline collides with intensity, and you either have it or you don't. Now, some of us are born with it. Others, well, they just have to work harder than everyone else to get it done. So ask yourself, am I driven? Motivated? Disciplined? I adapt. I push my limits. I persevere. I am animal.
And welcome back to World's Ultimate Strongman Feats of Strength, episode 2 with Trey Mitchell. We are setting up, finishing the setup. And we can see there, Zydrunas Savickas, the greatest of all time in Strongman, having a watchful eye over as our Feats of Strength referee, just making sure all the plates are weighed the correct amount, totaling to 400 kilograms. He's going to be keeping an eye on the repetitions as well, making sure they are fully locked out at the top. Knees locked out, hips extended through, shoulders back, chest up at the top of each repetition, and not letting go of the bar.
Yeah, they got to make sure Zydrunas is such a strict referee. We've seen it time and time again. He's going to make sure these lifts are all creditable. Just interesting watching the weigh-in of the weights. Obviously, we've commented on the rusty rural equipment we're seeing being used. It's not the shiny, calibrated plates that we've seen some of the guys. But Zydrunas is making sure. We saw this season one. Zydrunas, when certain weights didn't total what they were meant to, he was making them add extra. He's very strict, and he'll get it bang on to 400 kilos, I imagine, or as close as humanly possible.
You can see there the density of those plates. They're big, thick plates. They're almost like part of a train axle.
These are, they're big, solid weights. You don't see these so often in gyms. Usually it's either the 45 pounds or the 20 kilo plates for the Europeans. It's rare to see the 45 kilo or 50 kilo plates that you used to get in the olden days.
So Big Z just noting down every single weight as we climb up.
It's funny watching these get weighed. Some of them are slightly under. That one there was 21.4. It's supposed to be a 20 kilo plate. It's
Yeah.
nearly 1.5 kilos over.
That brings into question, one side might be slightly heavier than the other when it comes to
another one, 21.
Yeah.
And when you've got 400 kilos, or 9 plates aside, it can throw you off slightly. If one ended up being 5 kilos more than the other, it can be, very off-putting.
But as we've said before, these are the athletes' own equipment, obviously with the unprecedented times, and the athletes have the benefit of actually training on that equipment. So that's a big benefit to the guys doing this.
Oh, it's a huge benefit. Just being able to use your own equipment makes a big difference. We've seen, everyone in their own gyms. But even we say that, still the performances haven't always been great. Janasha last week, he had the opportunity to use any bar he wanted. He chose a standard weightlifting bar. And then you saw Rauno using the Texas deadlift bar. The whip that you get on the bars is slightly different. Those stiff bars just make it a little bit harder off the floor. Whereas the more flexible deadlift bars, you just get a bit more whip in them. They get that bar a little bit higher. And again, if you're strong at lockout, this is what a lot of people think it's just easier. It's not, unless you pull in a certain way. And that's
and you're training with that bit of kit.
Very much so. Being used to the whip, because sometimes the whip of a bar can actually pull you back down if you pull too aggressively or pull too fast. It's it's a bit of a science making sure you get it all right.
I can see there. Trey isn't wearing a suit, a deadlift suit. Loz, can you explain what a deadlift suit does and how it can affect the lift in a positive and negative way?
Sure. Obviously, we've seen a lot of the guys in deadlift suits. Rauno last week, Janasha was in a suit. Most of the guys actually that have done the deadlift, including the reps and for max, have worn deadlift suits. They protect the hips, so they give you a lot of spring off the floor. You tend to find guys that are a little bit weaker off the floor but strong at lockout get a lot out of their lift, whereas some of the guys that are a bit better at their power off the floor is stronger, don't get quite as much from the suit. Normally, I mean, you obviously pulled the 400, the body 4 times body weight pull, which was incredible. What's your best deadlift out of a suit?
I think mine's is about 340 kilos.
Wow. So you get quite a bit out of the suit.
Yeah, got quite a bit out of the suit, yeah.
I myself, I don't get a huge amount, but I've always been strong off the floor. So I tend to, if I can train in them, I might get 15 kilos. I know someone like Jerry Pritchett doesn't get an awful lot out of the suit. Rauno, he really likes them because he's so meticulous in his setup. He's not the most powerful off the floor, but his lockout is unbelievable. So when he gets that little bit of spring from the floor, it just really helps him.
It carries through.
It does. And the other factor with the suit is it just protects the hips. When you lift these huge weights raw, it really takes it out of your glutes, your hamstrings, your quads, your hip area. You feel battered for a few days later. Whereas having the suits on just kind of looks after you, it protects you that little bit and just keeps you a bit safer. So that's the main reason. They're looking to get a little bit more out of them and protect their bodies. So Zydrunas has verified the weights. 400 kilos on the bar. We'll be back after a quick commercial break.
We started with a can, added 200, no 250, no 300 milligrams of natural caffeine, extracted from plants. Yeah, plants. So you could do this, but not this. Vitamins B3, B6, B12, you're welcome. BCAAs. That just happened. Plus electrolytes, because sweat. And CoQ10, because we had room. And then we made it taste good, without the sugar. Now, go drink it. That's how we made Rain total body fuel.
At Castle Water, we have a clear vision to create an independent water retailer providing an excellent water service to all our customers at the best possible price. We're now the second largest water retailer in the UK, servicing more than 350,000 customers. Visit castlewater.co.uk to find out more, get an instant quote, and switch to the UK's leading independent water retailer.
Animal is a state of being. It's right where discipline collides with intensity, and you either have it or you don't. Now, some of us are born with it. Others, well, they just have to work harder than everyone else to get it done. So ask yourself, am I driven? Motivated? Disciplined? I adapt. I push my limits. I persevere. I am animal.
And here we are, Lumberton, Texas, with Trey Mitchell, 400 kilograms,
Take your position.
set up on the bar. Zydrunas Savickas in command. We are ready to go.
How many reps you picking, Mark?
From training, I would say 3 reps, 3 repetitions.
Yeah, I think 3 or 4 is definitely capable today. If he can pull 5, I would be extremely
3,
impressed. Let's see what he
2,
can do.
1, lift.
Here we go. That's a slow first one.
And you can hear the strain. 400 kilos, straight back
Nice.
in. They're 2
Good
solid
work,
reps.
that one. Yeah, he looked better on the second rep. I actually thought his second rep was better than his first there, Mark. I don't know if he
Definitely.
got the line wrong on the first one. That's going to throw him out a little bit. We've seen him do 3 reps with over 400.
Stepping back up here. Can he go for the third? Oh, it's grounded. Laws, I don't know what happened there, but those first 2 reps were pretty solid to me. I would have said he had at least 2 more in the tank.
Well, the first rep was slower than I would expect from watching his training and knowing what he's capable of, or when you've seen like the lifts he's been doing. That second rep moved pretty well. It wasn't fast and explosive like we saw with Rauno last week, but it was a good, solid, very similar to Zydrunas. Zydrunas pulls in that slower, more methodical rhythm. But that third one, he just got it to the knees, didn't go over. And as we've seen time and time again, once it goes with this kind of weight, it takes you weeks to recover. You don't recover in a few seconds.
No. That's hit his nervous system hard there. Again, lifting these big weights, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to recover, but hats off to Trey. He's stepped up to the plate today. 2 repetitions in the bag. He's matched Konstantin Janashia. Fantastic effort.
Yeah, like we say each week, 400 kilos for one is monstrous. I just think maybe it's a little bit of like inexperience there, Mark. I don't know how heavy he's been training. We've seen what he's capable of. We know he's capable of better than that. Just maybe he's been going a little bit too heavy, too close to this. I don't personally know what he's done in the last week, so it'd be interesting to hear from him.
I think it's going to be a combination of the inexperience and the fact he was a wild card. This was an opportunity that was given to him fairly last minute. He took it with both hands there and he gave all of his effort.
Oh, it's going to do him no harm in the long run. It's great experience for him and he's going to end up being a better athlete for it.
Let's cut over and see what Trey has to say for himself.
I was really expecting more out of myself, being in this environment and not having really good training sessions. The last couple of heavy deadlifts really didn't do well for me, but I gave it my all. I'm really glad that I, was given this opportunity to give it. Let me get my breath.
Sure.
I'm really glad I got this opportunity to do this lift, going for the world record of the 400 kilogram deadlift.
How does it feel to be lifting in front of hundreds of thousands of people all over the world?
This is a toughie. A little nerve-wracking, I guess, lifting in front of so many people, but I've been to a lot of competition, so I'm a little used to it.
Right. Well, what's next for you?
Nothing confirmed just yet. I'm an alternate at World's Strongest Man at the moment, and at the moment, that's all that's confirmed.
Gotcha. Well, do you have any message to young aspiring strongmen out there, or just the viewers in general?
Anybody that's aspiring to be, to make it to the World's Strongest Man, make it to the pro competitions, just keep on giving it your all. Don't take no for an answer.
Awesome. Thanks, Trey.
Thank you, guys.
So that was Trey giving his final comments on the lift there. Lovely to hear from him. And it's nice to see these athletes up speaking to the camera. You can tell he was a little bit nervous, but let's hope that he breaks out of his egg and out of his shell in the upcoming competitions, Loz.
Bless him. I just wanted to give him a big hug. He's just such a big, friendly, a big, strong country boy. And just listening to him there, he said he sort of sounded like he'd had a couple of bad deadlift sessions leading into this. I think if we're totally honest, he probably peaked with his 415 for 3 a few weeks back. Huge weight. It does take time to recover from those numbers. He's going to learn from it. He's going to come back better. And I look forward to seeing what Trey can do in the future.
Yeah, me too. I'm definitely looking forward to that. Well, that is it from us guys here at World's Ultimate Strongman. Make sure you tune in next week. We have Tom Stoltman and Donna Moore, the king and the queen of the Atlas Stones, going to break 2 world records. We have Tom Stoltman going for a 300 kilogram plus Atlas Stone hoist, never been seen before. And we have Donna Moore. Same with her. She's going to be breaking a female Atlas Stone record. I think we're going to see 170 kilograms being broken, Loz. I'm looking forward to that.
That is going to be exciting. I cannot wait for that episode.